Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to The Boys. We are finally here. The first of two finallys. The first finally is this one, the finale of season 1. The second finally will be when I enter season 2, which will be very soon. But yeah, we are finally here. We're at the season 1 finale of The Boys. It's been a long journey. The second half of the journey has been a bit more fast-paced and slightly more cramped, but enjoyable nonetheless. But yeah, we're finally here. So episode 8, season 1, episode 8. You Found Me. So that's an ominous title. That is an ominous-sounding title. So yeah, I don't know what to expect from this one, but last time we had the Self-Preservation Society, and we had everyone being burned. Everyone got burned in the end because of Mesmer snitching them all out to Homelander. So they all got burnt, and then Billy delivered his own little revenge prize to Mesmer, just bashing him open on the restroom sink and all that. So we had that. And he shot Annie in the end too. You know, Annie was just getting ready. We had just heard the truth about the birth of superheroes from Hughie, about Compound V and everything, and then as soon as she hears that, there's a red dot on her chest, and then 2 shots in, and Hughie runs away, which isn't the best look, but we had that. But yeah, I think Billy. We saw some more flashbacks with Billy. We saw some more flashbacks that showed us that Becca actually worked at Vought, where like around the time that she went missing, she actually had a job at Vought, something close to Homelander too. She was in charge of his social media. So she had that, and then she was raped by him, and then she was knocked up, and then she actually got pregnant with his laser eye baby. So there was that, and then Vought made her sign an NDA, and then she apparently died giving birth. But my working theory is that she's actually still alive, and they just have her off world somewhere, off map, off screen somewhere, having given birth successfully and raising his child and stuff. Because I think, especially in relation to what the Dr. Vogelbaum said to Homelander in the last episode, like, you know, he considers Homelander, John, his greatest failure because of what he became and how he raised him. Like, he raised Homelander in a lab with experiments and all that kind of stuff. So because of that, you know, Homelander grew up to be a sociopathic, homicidal maniac. So all of that. So I think that's what they wanted to do with the baby that Becca, you know, I believe the baby that Becca gave birth to. Like they actually saw it as like a second chance, and they wanted to raise that in like a loving family and a loving environment. So they assigned Becca as its mother. And yeah, so we'll see if that actually pans out. If it pans out, I will be, you know, I'll just be proud of myself for having actually come up with that theory. But I don't know, we'll see how it actually, where that lands and what that means for season 2. But yeah, we'll see. So that was that, and then we had super terrorists at the very end, just as Susan from the FBI was getting ready to convict, or at least charge Dingy Stillwell with all of her stuff, all the corruption and the Compound V crap that Billy provided her with. We got footage that they had super terrorists overseas, and now Vought actually has a reason to stick around and a backup plan too. So like their plan worked out to send super terrorists overseas to wreak havoc, so that then they have a reason to branch Supes out into the military and all that kind of stuff. So we have that. And then yeah, that's pretty much where we left off. So this episode, we should actually wrap some stuff up, and also, of course, since season 2 has started, we should actually leave some stuff open for season 2. So yeah, it'll be fun. But that is pretty much all I've got from the last episode. So this will be the highlight reel as always, and if you guys want the full length reaction, the full length watch along to this episode, then that will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. But yeah, that is this episode 8. You Found Me, the finale. Let's go. Oh, damn, okay. Yeah, huh? Oh, damn, okay. Oh, his legs. Oh, yay. Oh. Oh, crushed his head right under his heel. Yeah, ugh. You psychopath.
The Islamic State is not exactly a hotbed of scientific
Bobby Singer!
expertise.
Okay, it's an Eric Kripke produced show. It's an Eric Kripke created show, so it makes sense he'd bring along some of his SPN stars, yeah.
V shit of yours?
Has there been anyone else?
It seems that way, Mr. Secretary.
I don't think so. I don't
did they
think
get
he's
this
had any other SPN stars. No.
Honestly?
Well, what about me and the boys then, eh?
Hey, he said it. He said it. He called them the boys. Yeah.
You told me that Daddy left because he lost all of our savings.
He disagreed with all this, so he gave her a choice. Cut her off.
He agreed to all of it. And then one day he didn't.
Oh, okay.
So he walked out on us.
Ah, so he agreed at first, but then saw what was wrong with it.
No, I'm seriously leaving, Jeff. Fuck Ohio.
Here's the sitch.
I'm sure Ohioans will be happy to
I
hear that.
talked to New York.
Oh, is this Mallory? Mallory's still alive, isn't she? Yeah, this is Mallory. I knew it. I knew it. Mallory's still alive. Her grandkids
William.
were the ones that died. Yeah. Oh, she looks so pretty. She's so cute. Oh, it's a great color. It's a great color. Oh, oh, tear gas. Yeah, yeah. She heard something. She heard something. She heard something. Oh, oh no, what's happening? Oh, oh, the blood on her hands again. The blood on her hands. Oh, found her anyway.
I don't know if Homelander has a weakness, but if he does, she'll know it.
Maybe she is his weakness. If anything happens to her, then he goes haywire. Which you don't fully want, but still. Is the police officer really watching him? Seriously? We have bad stuff in this. We have bad enough stuff in this. We do not need racial profiling too. Jesus.
Okay, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get the guys back?
We're on our own. We've got to get to Stillwell.
It would be super cool if he had an Impala. It would be super cool if he had an Impala.
You never cared about me. Or Robin, did you? I was just useful to you.
Fuck, Hughie.
This is like Batman and Robin all over again. Dick feeling like he was weaponized and used by Bruce. Oh, he's going for the full shave. Oh. No, he's going for a clean shave. He's going for a clean shave, yeah. Might as well finish the job. Might as well finish the job. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep, every last strand. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's not saving you, it's just being there.
Sometimes that's enough. And in this case, it was very much enough. Now he's on the piano all to himself. Yeah, he wants the piano all to himself. Yeah. Oh, god damn it. He plays piano. Damn. The super assassin plays piano.
Mr. Edgar, I didn't know you were gonna come.
Let me borrow you.
Giancarlo Esposito again? First Mandalorian and now this? Really? He's just popping up? He's just popping up wherever he can, really? Oh, that is so cool.
I borrowed some Compound V. I had A-Train run it all over the globe.
Ah.
I supercharged some jihadis.
Huh, he made the terrorists.
We have villains all over the globe.
There are more of them.
But only we can fight.
There's more of them.
Sequel after sequel.
Oh. They're not gonna bang, are they?
Take off your pants.
Okay, the kissing was bad enough. They're not actually gonna bang now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, he's a quick one, isn't he? He's a quick one.
Oh, my boy. I'm proud of you. The pain of losing a child to miscarriage is... I
Miscarriage?
just wanted to spare you that burden.
I'm sorry, miscarriage?
Do you understand?
Yes.
Miscarriage? They said it clawed its way out and drowned in her blood. In what way is that a miscarriage?
I'm gonna knock that bitch out your mouth.
We're not at that step yet. We don't have to do that.
It's just gonna sting a little bit, all right?
A little
Sting
bit? You're
on
punching a retainer out of his mouth.
Okay, well, if you count down. All right? You okay, buddy? Yes.
Oh, there it is. Okay, that worked. That worked. Oh, that's such a cool shot. That's such a cool shot. Oh. Oh, jeez. Oh, sure. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Just pull it out and shove it back in. There we go. There we go. Yeah, all those years of COD have finally paid off. Starlight! Starlight! There's my girl. There she is. Oh, that is cool. That is cool, yeah. Yeah, Taekwondo and light blasts. Who's the fastest soup in the West? Who's the fastest? Oh, 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 jeez.
You're the only person I've ever loved.
Again, you killed her.
I didn't kill her.
You killed her.
But it was your fault.
Oh, another Compound V's fighting back. Now the Compound V ain't doing so good. Oh, his heart is going crazy. Oh, cardiac arrest.
Holy shit.
He's having a heart attack.
He'll never stop coming for you.
I know.
Oh, shit. Whoa! He's packed her with bombs.
Try to kill me. And my trigger finger goes soft.
Oh, if he lets go. Yeah, if he lets go, then
Why
yeah.
don't you stop playing rapey Santa and come down and join us?
Sure, your heart's pounding, but you're not afraid.
You know, he's angry. He's full of rage.
It's a new one for me. She was a hell of a lay. She came 3 times, eh? 3 times. All right, little man, have a little lie down. Good.
Fucking hate him. Fucking
I
hate
want
him.
you to take him out of
Home
here.
landing guts.
You and Vogelbaum should have got your story straight.
Yeah.
They were so close.
Exactly. I know. She's still alive. She has to be still alive.
Little details that were different.
She has to be still alive and raising his fucking demon spawn.
I'm scared of you.
Thank you.
Oh, he's gonna kill her.
Thank you for finally being honest.
He's gonna kill her. What's he gonna do? Pull her head off? Laser eyes through the brain? Oh! Laser eyes through the head! Ay, ay, ay. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Well, that makes the bombs obsolete, doesn't it? Oh, Madeline. I said she was alive and raising his fucking baby. I said she was alive and raising his baby. I said so. I told you so. I told you so.
Becca. Oh. Mommy didn't tell you.
Yeah. He's your daddy.
Our family.
Laser eyes. Laser eyes. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Oh, that's how they end it. That's how they end this season. I said so. I told you. I said so. I mean, you guys already knew this, you know, this being out for X amount of time and all, but yeah, I knew it. I knew it. She was off site. She was off site raising his baby. never really did. You know, she was raising his baby. She gave birth successfully. The baby was born and it grew up and everything. And yeah, I was like, oh, it feels good to be right. It feels good to be right. At least for me, like, you know, at least for me, even with no one really clarifying or correcting my statements, it felt good to, you know, actually, you know, be proven right about that theory. So, and it made sense too. So yeah, Becca is still alive and she's raising Homelander's kid, and yeah, that is a hell of a way to end it though. It's a hell of a way to end the season, and it's also a hell of a way to actually save his life, to save Billy's life, because he blew up the bomb anyhow, thinking, oh well, if I go out, I might as well take him out with me. I mean, not that the explosion would have taken him out, not that it would have taken him out, but then Homelander being like, you know, oh, I'm not only am I going to save this guy's life, I'm going to show him the truth of the story that he so badly wants to be wrong. I'm going to show him the truth of the story he so badly wants to be wrong, because he was once he found out that Billy had no concrete evidence that, you know, he actually, you know, did do what Billy hated him so much for, or part of it anyway, he knew that, you know, all he had to do was show him the truth. And then then that all went the way that was supposed to go. So but yeah, so she looked fine too. She I mean, I guess the smallest part of me was expecting her to look like she was being kept prisoner there, but no, she actually just seemed like she was there raising a kid, not raising hers and Homelander's kid. But I think that's going to be an interesting thing to explore in the season too. Like, you know, so you screwed Homelander, and then Well, I mean, assuming that they still used her to create a second Homelander, it would then still count as rape because she didn't really consent to baby making. So then that happened, but then I don't know if she actually knew it would happen, or if, you know, it was like a trial, but then they still kind of maybe forced her into it. I don't know how it happened, because I don't know, because Billy said it was rape based on the CCTV footage he saw, like her going in with Homelander 3 hours later, coming out looking all disheveled and shit, and then, you know, she barely talks to him. When we saw in the flashback. She was barely talking to him, and then after that, she sits on the park bench for a few hours, and then after that, she walks away from there, and she's never seen again. So then she accepted the NDA with Vought, and left with them, and then successfully gave birth, and then then she started a new life of raising Homelander 2.0. So it was the way that Homelander was actually talking about it, the way he was boasting about how good the sex was between them. I think it was obviously like him taunting Billy with his words. It was him taunting him with Becca and everything like that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that would still constitute for rape. Because again, I'm pretty sure she never could like, with her already being in a happy relationship with Billy, I'm pretty sure she never consented to helping to make the Homelander 2, so that all happened then. So then she knew that after that, a Vought would be her best way of both surviving the birth giving, and also to live to have a chance at some kind of life. Vought would also be the best option for that, because they would give her the resources to be able to raise a super baby. So yeah. But again, I think that's just going to be a really interesting story to explore in season 2. So yeah, we will see how things go from there. But yeah, I think what I found interesting was the way Homelander analyzed Billy, because he can hear stuff like, you know, heart rate and blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. So he was saying, like, you know, like usually when people are when people's heart rates are that scared in front of him, they usually piss in their pants, terrified. It's because they're usually terrified of him. But with Billy, it was something else. With Billy, for the first time, probably in a long time, but for the first time, his heart was pounding with rage, because It's all he's ever. It's all he's ever felt towards Homelander. Every time he sees or thinks of Homelander, all he ever thinks of is rage. So his heart pounding there was him wishing he had the power to just beat him to death the same way he did Mesmer. You know, he likely wished he could actually beat Homelander to death, but knowing his strengths and his lack of weaknesses, he knew that there was next to nothing he could do to save, like to actually save himself and kill Homelander at the same time. So yeah, that was like a really interesting analysis he did of Billy. But yeah, he killed Madeline. Madeline. He brought the baby into the picture, and then everything changed. He brought the baby into the picture, and then everything changed for Madeline. Madeline was suddenly, clearly more, and understandably more worried about her baby than she was about Homelander. So then that truth was revealed, and especially him, you know, especially as soon as she mentioned the miscarriage, you know, we catch her out on it, and Homelander catches her out on it. Like, you know, Vogelbaum mentioned, like, he claimed that, you know, the like, she gave birth but then died from the blood loss and from the sheer pain of having a super baby clawing its way out of you, and then the baby died drowning in its blood, and then Madeline says, "Oh, it's a miscarriage. It was so terrible." So, you know, two different stories not really lining up, and then he goes back to Vogelbaum, and then he says, you know, he squeezed the truth out of him, probably knowing him literally. But then he squeezed the truth out of him, and then he actually got the truth that, you know, okay, yeah, I lied. You know, Becca actually survived it. She's still alive, and she's off wherever raising Homelander 2.0. So yeah, fun stuff there. But yeah, then he killed Madeline. He got Madeline to confess that she didn't actually really love him, not deeply, but that, you know, she, like everyone else in the world, was actually sincerely afraid of him. She was sincerely afraid of him, and she masked that fear. She masked it with love and infatuation and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that sex was pretty much pointless. It was disturbing. The sex on the couch was disturbing, hugely disturbing, but also pointless because she never really felt that kind of love for him anyway. It was love powered by fear. Like, oh, if I love him, then he'll never hurt me, and he'll always protect me, and that kind of stuff. But, you know, Homelander, having grown up in a lab, he knows what true love would feel like because he's never felt it in his life, so he knows what someone actually caring about him, or at least he may well have an inkling of what someone actually caring about him would feel like. And, you know, now he sees that Madeline never really had that kind of love for him, and I think over the season he actually starts to see it, because over the season that's what it is. Like, you see the attention she gives the baby over him, and the parallels, like, you know, him angry staring at the baby all the time and stuff like that. So you see exactly, you know, like, what he's afraid of and what angers him so much. You know, her coddling the baby and the baby staring back at him and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just disturbing. So yeah, so then he killed her. I figured he would kill her. I figured after that confession and after him just caressing her for a few minutes, I figured it would either be that he would literally just crush her head between his hands, or pull her head off and throw it out the window, or much more intimately, literally laser blasting her brains out of her skull. So that one he did. He literally laser blasted through her eyes and, you know, just melted half the top of her face, and yeah, killed her right there and then. So then, the bomb still worked, but their original purpose then became obsolete. So yeah, he killed Madeline. So that relationship is over. That relationship is very, very much over. So that was that. And Homelander created the terrorists. So yeah, so he was having A-Train running the Compound V over and over, but it wasn't just across Manhattan, it was across the globe. He was actually running, with his powers, like a speedster can run over water, they are that fast. So he was having him literally running all over the globe to actually transport Compound V to overseas terrorist groups and stuff. And yeah, so he transported it to the Chinese place where Kimiko was being kept, so that they could pump her full of it. And he even said that, you know, it was a messy process. Not everyone survived. So Kimiko and Nakib and God knows how many others are the only ones who survived. He claimed that he said a lot of them died because Compound V doesn't work as well on adults as it does on children, and I think it's because Compound V, it may well be like more of a developmental drug. It's meant to develop along with the body, and once you reach a certain age of adulthood, your body develops much slower towards like stuff like old age. So if you start them off as children, then they actually grow up with the powers. So yeah, so with the adults, it didn't really work as well. And there were a few lucky subjects that I'm sure we will meet in season 2. But yeah, no, season 2's stories are seeming clearer now. Starlight is probably not going to be as much of a strong member of the Seven, given all that's happened so far. So that's that. And then A-Train had a heart attack. He had cardiac arrest, and he died, I think. I don't know. I mean, I think we might see him in the next season, because I think Starlight stayed behind and called the ambulance specifically to save him. And they even pointed out that he'll never stop going after Hughie. So there's that. But yeah, A-Train may well be returning, and I know there's also another character called Stormfront. Stormfront is coming. I don't know who that is, but I've heard it's not a character to be liked. But I'll wait and see what happens once we get into season 2. I'll wait and see what happens then. But yeah, season 2. So we have terrorists everywhere. We have super terrorists almost everywhere. So that will be a big plot point in season 2. And then of course the Becca and Homelander 2 story, that will be very, very interesting to explore, and how Billy copes with all that and fits into all that. But yeah, we have a lot of opportunities for season 2, and even season 3 has already been announced. Season 3 has been announced, and we have castings for Soldier Boy and Lamplighter. Lamplighter is going to be played by Shawn Ashmore of the X-Men franchise and other franchises, and Soldier Boy, who I am infinitely more excited to see, is going to be played by Jensen Ackles of Supernatural fame. So I'm really excited for season 3. But yeah, season 2 is going to be super cool to see with all that coming in. But we had all that stuff. So Homelander was the one who planned it. Homelander was the one who actually planned to create all the super terrorists just in time before the FBI actually convicted Madeline and Vought and threatened them with bankruptcy and all that, all sorts of other crap. So he was the one who saved Vought with the necessity of superheroes in the military. So that was cool. It was cool to see different cameos. We got a cameo with Jim Beaver, who plays Bobby Singer on Supernatural. That one made sense to me. I mean, that one made sense to me right off the bat. Like, Bobby Singer, the show itself is created by Eric Kripke, who previously worked on Supernatural and actually came up with Supernatural. So it makes sense that he'd bring over some Supernatural alumni, and he's doing the exact same thing again, but in a much bigger fashion with Jensen Ackles. He's bringing Jensen Ackles over to play Soldier Boy. So seeing Bobby in this one was a nice little cameo. So that was cool, and of course we had the other one, which was another person working at Vought, which was Giancarlo Esposito. So seeing him and stuff, I think I think older fans and people who have watched him for longer than I have will primarily know him from Breaking Bad. I haven't watched enough of Breaking Bad to have seen him in it, so I don't know what his role in that is. I've seen a few episodes of it from the very beginning, and that's it. But he also popped up in Mandalorian. He is Moff Gideon, who we'll be very likely seeing in season 2. But now we have him in this too. So I assume his character, because of the fact that he offered his job to Madeline Stillwell, and now she's dead. I'm assuming we actually might see a bit more of him next season, but him taking over Madeline's job, because someone needs to do that. But then how are they going to deal with Madeline's job? I don't know, because they're going to see how she died. Like 2 scorch marks, roughly the length of 2 human eyes apart, blasted into her eyes, scorching her brain, and essentially just killing her. Like they're going to trace that back to Homelander. I don't know. Oh no, the explosion killed her and her baby and the nanny. Jesus. Okay, so everyone in the house is dead. Everyone in the house is dead. Everyone in the house, the baby, Madeline's body has been scorched, probably beyond identification. So they might not be able to. I mean, unless they can. Unless they can identify the age of the scorch marks. If they can identify that these scorch marks around the eyes are older than the scorch mark around the rest of the body, they can probably, single that out and investigate that separately and be like, okay, these are two very precise beams of intense heat blasted into her eyes, and the only person we know who can emit that kind of energy is Homelander. So, but it's not like they can really do anything anyway. It's like, Homelander killed her. What can we do besides from just close this case now and just never look back on it? I don't know. Like they literally physically cannot do anything to take him in, So I don't know. He's literally watching this show so far, watching this season. The only way I would actually be able to accurately describe Homelander is, imagine if Superman and Captain America had a very douchey baby. If Superman and Captain America got together and they produced a baby that just turned out to be an absolute dick bag, the worst of the worst. That is it. Captain America and Superman's douchey love child. That is how I describe Homelander. That is honestly how I would describe Homelander. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, what they might try and do, what they might be able to do, but it's not a lot. So yeah, Madeline is dead, and her baby is dead, and her nanny is dead. Everyone in the house is dead. The house is dead. The house itself is dead. The house died along with everyone else. So that's that. The Deep went through his own little transformation. He was stuck in Ohio because New York wasn't really calling him back, so he wasn't leaving New York for a while. So he had his own little existential crisis, and he shaved most of his body hair, and then he went for a clean shave on his head too, and his face and everything. So he was having his own little thing. But I mean, the Deep this season, from the get go, he just seemed like an arsehole. From the get go, he seemed like an arsehole, doing what he did to Annie and then getting away with it, and then acting like he was justified even because he went through similar stuff on his first days, and he treated it like it was some kind of initiation. Oh, you can't really be a member of the Seven unless you do something you don't want to do, and then live with it for the rest of your life. Like ever since then, from that episode onwards, he just seemed like, just like an unlikable douchebag. And as time went on, and as his story as a hero was explored just a little bit more, like him wanting to save the dolphins and wanting to do something more meaningful for his career and everything like that. As that kind of time went on, you kind of see that he really is he's an arsehole, but he's like a lonely arsehole, and he's an arsehole that no one really likes, and he kind of starts to feel like that. So yeah, Starlight giving him that speech kind of reinforced it. You're barely number 2 in the Seven. You're just a fish guy. Everyone thinks you're a joke. All that kind of stuff. Even the way the other 7 treat him, he barely gets any contact with any of them, but he gets a stern talking to from Homelander for talking to Stillwell about the mayor's plane crash and everything. So the Deep is just, character-wise and power-wise, I still stand by my statement. He is the version of Aquaman that everyone thinks is a joke. The one that talks to fish, the one that doesn't really do much. And he even mentioned this. He mentions it in his therapy session that how often do you need to be saved by a school of salmon, a school of fish of some kind, and stuff. So he is pretty much the version of Aquaman that just gets treated like a joke and everything. So yeah, but then towards the end, it's you see how much of that kind of mentality lashes back at him, and then he issues a fake ass apology for what he did to Starlight, and then he gets even more backlash for it, and then he gets raped by the other girl that he brings back home, and then that gets to him, and yeah, after that, his life is just one downward spiral of crap. It's a downward spiral of crap. So seeing him in season 2 should be interesting. It should be interesting seeing how he actually returns to the Seven, if he does, and how he actually makes it back to the team, and how he approaches life afterwards. But I guess we'll see. I think Billy and Hughie's relationship in this season, like I mentioned in the reaction, it reminded me of Batman and Robin's in Titans. It reminded me of how they've explored Bruce and Dick's relationship in Titans in the first season. Like Bruce taking Dick on at a very young age and teaching him and teaching him his ways and how to be the best version of himself and how to be Robin and everything. It reminds you of that, and then at the end of it all, when Dick's all grown up and he's actually independent enough and mature enough to think for himself, he actually starts to realize what Bruce has done to him and all that kind of stuff, and he actually starts to gain some kind of mental independence. and then he comes to his own kind of realization that, you know, Bruce weaponized him in his childhood and his anger at that time, and he turned him into a weapon, a weapon that couldn't even control itself and stuff like that. So like in this one, even Hughie like referencing it, like, you know, like you used me, and like, you know, you didn't really care about me or Robin, you just cared about what you could use me for. Like he weaponized Hughie's anger and his mourning. Like, you know, like before Billy came along, Hughie was never really angry. Like he saw A-Train everywhere, but even then he just had a panic attack and really couldn't really cope and stuff. You know, he punched the wall a few times, but even then, that was after Billy. That was after Billy came to him and told him he had an option, he had a choice to take the fight to the Supes themselves, to take the fight to the Seven. So, you know, until Billy came along, you know, Hughie was coping in his kind of self-wallowing, like, sorrow and everything like that. So when Billy came along and showed him there was an option, he taught him how to kill superheroes, he taught him how to kill other people, he taught him how to actually be angry and to express that rage in the same way that Billy had done for years and stuff. So it kind of reminds me of that relationship between Dick and Bruce, where, you know, like Dick even mentions, like, you know, you can't unlearn what he taught you when you don't know how to control it. So, you know, like Billy, he's killed people, he killed a superhero, he killed a superhero for the first time. You know, he became a visibly different person. Like I think you could, I think you could view it as he became a stronger person, or like a more upfront person after he met Billy, and he kind of discovered this mission and this agenda and everything. Like you could argue that, but you could also argue that he became a much darker version of himself. He became a version of himself willing to go to places that, you know, the version of him that was Robin would never go to. Like, arguably he would never have a reason to go there, but with this one, you know, he did things that he likely never would have done without Billy. Like, Billy showed him a world where he can actually fight back and stuff like that. So seeing that relationship evolve has been really, really cool, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing how they actually progress into that in season 2. Once Billy comes to him with all this new information, and once they actually get out and find their way back together. So yeah, I think season 2, I think they're still going to be fugitives. I think season 2, they're still definitely going to be fugitives from the law. The feds are still going to be after them. Vought is still going to be after them. But with the team structure, it's going to be very, very different. And even with the 7, the team structure is going to be very, very different. So I am intrigued to see how it all might go down. We met Grace Mallory. Grace Mallory is still alive. Grace Mallory is still alive in the present day. It's just her grandkids that were killed by Lamplighter, and then that took her out of the game. She confirms that you know, that changes your perspective on things. It took her out of the game for a good long while. But yeah, so she offered some information in exchange for him never returning to her place again. She offered him some information about Madeline Stillwell and her relationship with Homelander. So I feel like we might see her again, especially if they have Lamplighter come back again. They have Lamplighter casted for season 3, I believe it is. Yeah, could be for season 3. If they have Lamplighter casted and they're gonna bring him into the show, they may well bring Mallory back. Because if he's coming back in, then the boys are gonna detect that. And either they might bring Mallory in, or Mallory might come back in being like, you know, okay, I detected the Lamplighter's back. You know, seeing him back is bringing out a whole new side in her, and it's like, you know, bringing back the revenge that, you know, Billy was so fond of and Billy was so, like, encouraging of. So yeah, if they're bringing Lamplighter in, they may well be bringing Mallory back and kind of finishing off that kind of 1v1. So we shall see. We shall see where that goes. But it was good to see her. It was cool to see her. She's just living her own life, bird watching and stuff. And she confirms to us and to Hughie that she was one who brought the original boys together and taught Billy, like, to do what he does now, to actually, you know, fight and research and investigate the way that he does and everything like that. So seeing her around was cool. But yeah, I would love to see more of her. Yeah, so we addressed more of how Vought actually filled babies with Compound V to raise them into superheroes. And of course, Annie addressed the fact that she only became Starlight because of that thing, and you know how her mother manipulates her. Her mother is the worst, by the way. Her mother is the absolute worst. Like, you know, even from episode 5, when she actually gave Annie that speech of, you know, why can't you just do this one simple thing for me? This is all I've ever asked of you. Like, you could tell from that point on, it was never truly about Annie. It was never truly about her being Starlight. It was about her mother being able to live her dreams through her daughter, her projecting her dreams onto her daughter and encouraging her to go to all those pageants and pick up taekwondo and training with her powers and everything. It was all about that. It was all about that. So then, now we figure out the root of that projection was, or at least the beginning of the projection, was her actually accepting Vort's offer to fill her baby with Compound V and actually fill her up with superpower steroids. So yeah, so then from then it started, and her dad was a part of it. Her dad was initially a part of it, but then after a while, after he saw the harm it was doing, to Annie and to their family, he left and never came back. He agreed to it initially. Because like with Vought, they're a company. They're a company first and foremost. They're a business, so it's their job to sell their product and sell it well. So they gave that persuasive kind of sales pitch of, oh, your daughter will be able to live an incredible, extraordinary life as a superhero of Vought and stuff. So yeah, so then that makes me wonder if Vought ever had any plans to, make those babies part of the Seven, because I think Annie auditioned and got in, but then how many other babies did they actually put Compound V in that didn't make it into the Seven, that just made it under Vaught's records or something? Or maybe lived similar lives and career paths to Mesmer and Popclaw, just being in movies and TV shows and whatnot. I don't know, because I do wonder if Annie was one of a select few that they were keeping an eye on and making sure that she got into Vault, or if actually she was just lucky enough to actually get into Vault and her audition tape was good enough. Because I think if Vault made them the promise that with superpowers she would live an incredible life, and I think her mother would have actually ensured that she would grow up to actually be able to be a member of the Seven. That was what the training was all for. That was what training her with hand-to-hand combat and her powers and the pageants and presenting herself and everything. That's what all of it was for, to actually make sure that once she became of age, she was fit to be a member of the Seven. So again, it's all her mother. It's all her mother's dreams, all of her mother's ideals that she just injected along with the Compound V into her daughter. And and yeah, that was horrible. So the dad is somewhere out there. I wonder if we'll meet her father in season 2. I wonder if Annie will actually track down her dad in season 2 and see who he is and what he thinks of all this now. Yeah, because he left, but he never died. He left because he saw the harm it was causing to his daughter and to their family. So he left because of that, because he disagreed. And then they had a falling out. But yeah, I wonder if we'll actually see Annie visiting her father in season 2. I guess we'll see. But Hughie went into the containment building and got himself captured, and he got in and he helped rescue Mother's Milk and Frenchie, and then all three of them helped rescue Kimiko. So that happened. That was cool. And yeah, just seeing Billy taking out those guards, just him taking the gun and just shooting, and just each time he kills someone, he's like, oh god, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. It's we know up until now Hughie has been passive, very very kind of pacifistic. He never really sought out violence in any kind of way. But yeah, he did kill Translucent on a choice and other stuff. But this is the first time we've actually genuinely seen him apologize for killing someone who probably didn't deserve it. They were just men doing their job, men following orders and everything. So this is the first time we've actually seen him killing someone, but then apologizing for it soon afterwards. So that was funny. That was interesting. But yeah, they got themselves out and they got Kimiko out too. So yeah, season 2 we'll have all the boys back together and Kimiko with the boys. So that'll be fun to see. It'll be good stuff. Very very good stuff. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this, I think. Anything else? Maeve's speech. Maeve gave a little speech to Starlight. She mentioned the fact that the story was true. She broke all of the arms in her bone, the bones in her arm, stopping the school bus, and she did all that stuff. But then after that, she said that she mentioned having given pieces of herself away every now and then not really being much of herself anymore. So I wonder if that's like a euphemism for something. I think the first thing I thought of was that she like slept around or something. I felt that it feels like that could not be more wrong from what she actually meant. But I don't know. I mean, in this world, anything like that is possible. In this world, anything like that is possible. But yeah, because I then wonder if that's why she kind of related so heavily to Starlight to begin with, because she knows what it's like to be in that position. But then, because back then things were very different. Back then things were very, very different for Maeve. She was the only woman on the team. She was the only female member of the team. So I feel like, she like back then she had a lot more pressure to actually conform to whatever kind of standards or like whatever kind of ridiculous standards or rules or jobs that were stuck on her if she wanted to stay a part of the team. So she had to not see Elena because homophobia and all that. They likely forced her into dating Homelander to give off that kind of a nice normal heteronormative message, and then she maybe slept around for whatever reason. But I don't know. It's just kind of what I infer from that speech, like from off the top of my head. But I don't know. But it's good to see that she actually did give some kind of pep talk to Starlight after seeing her, and especially because after she left Hughie and went back to the Seven Tower, she changed back into her like more revealing costume that marketing came up with for her, and started kind of batting some eyelashes and all that kind of stuff. So before she got into any actual serious like regrettable trouble, Maeve caught her out and actually gave her that kind of pep talk and got her back on the right path. So yeah, Maeve is an angel. She's likely done some bad stuff, both to herself and to other people in the past, but she is still, for the most part, innocent. She still has good intentions. She still has good ideals. She still wants to be a hero. We saw that back on the airplane. She wanted to save at least two people. But she couldn't do it at all with Homelander there too. So yeah, she is a hero. She is a true, proper hero. So I look forward to seeing her and Starlight teaming up again, or teaming up at all in season 2. But we shall see. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this. This was a fun season. This was a very, very fun introduction to the show, just to to establish this universe and to set the tone and set the story and to introduce viewers to what this kind of story is going to be like. It's really not your average superhero story. So introducing some like grittier crime and drama and violence to superhero stuff is a brilliant idea. The comics, I don't know if I'll read them because I've heard that they are infinitely more violent and graphic and brutal and darker than the series could ever hope to be. And I think it makes sense why they wouldn't do that, because like despite this still being an adult show, there is some stuff I think they are genuinely barred from being able to show on TV. So like what we get here is the best that current guidelines can allow. So if you want even darker stuff, then you go for the comics. So yeah, I've heard some stuff about them. I have a friend who actually has read most of the comics, and he's informed me of some of the stuff that happens. And oh boy, I'm glad we get like somewhat of a toned down version in this, something that's actually more digestible and doesn't make us actually want to look away from the screen. Some stuff does, but not all of it. But yeah, this was a great. This has been a great show so far. It's been a great show so far. So I look forward to season 2. I will be starting that very, very soon. So stick around for that. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got. So that was The Boys, season 1, episode 8, titled "You Found Me," the season 1 finale. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on the next season of The Boys. Again, the full-length reaction to this episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.